So here's the third home movie, and I realized, I didn't mention that in the 60s, movies didn't have sound, the home movies, and some of them were in black and white. So this is Norwood, Mass. We lived on a hill, and down there you can see the beginning of the auto mile. And every spring there'd be pictures of the daffodils, so you can tell every time you see the daffodils, that's a new spring. So here I am with my sister Mary, and I think his name was Johnny. My foster mother took over 60 foster children during her lifetime with her husband, Harriet and Albert Mackey. And that's me. I think I was about 4 years old on the left there. And there's Harriet. Here we are loading into the car, probably going to church, no doubt, on a Sunday. This happened to be Mary's, I think, 4th or 5th birthday party. And there was a famous puppeteer named Bob in the Norwood area of Massachusetts. And this is only a fraction of the foster family I lived in. There's my mother, Harriet, and my second mother, Marcia, which was Harriet's daughter. So there's Bob, the puppeteer. I don't know if it's better if I don't talk. But he was famous in the 60s and 70s. Around our area, anyway. Wow, look at all those people. So the Tubrides, the Canavans, the Dietzels all showed up for Mary's party as well, Mary Mackey. Forgot to mention that. Here we are in a band. That's me. My little dress, the blue dress. And there's, who else was there? Brian, Jeff, or Bobby. Mary was in there. There's Cheryl and Kim and Ruth. And is that Tommy in the carrot, in the playpen? There's Carol, and I saw two of the Tubrides. I think it was Timmy and David. This was a famous puppet act called Punch and Judy, and it freaked me out. Later you'll see why. I started crying when they hit the baby. And started crying. I had to leave. It was very traumatic for me. And then the puppet got stuck. That was funny. Another birthday party. Whose is it this time? Oh, that's Kathy. and Brian and Mary. Must have been around Thanksgiving time, because we used to make those in school. And here's an old bread truck that my foster father bought and turned into a camper. And we used to go camping in the summertime. He did an amazing job. You can see the he transformed the whole thing. It's his project. Here we are on a cold fall day. Probably going to church again. Or maybe not, just playing. That doesn't look like church clothes. But don't you love the cars? So many different old cars. This was my favorite spot outside. This is back when children used to play outside. Imagine that. And here's Linny, a little foster girl that came in, and me beside her on the right. So she must have been 3, because we always had one for good luck. And there she is with her brother Richie and me, and it must have been somebody else's birthday. I think her brother, she had 2 brothers, so 3 of them came together. And there's Mary, having fun in front of the camera. Richie and Bobby, maybe, I forget. Laufer or Laufer. Poor family, they left and came back to the home where I lived. So, but at least they were able to stay together. I don't even know what happened in their family. I think this was Easter one year. Of course. Must have been Easter. We had the white gloves and purses. On the way to church again. In a cool old car. And that's, I think, Fran? With her baby?